Hi everyone, welcome back to Haley K Studio. If you're new here, I'm Haley and I love sharing Procreate tutorials here on my channel, particularly for beginners in Procreate or anyone that wants to try a new skill here on Procreate. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draw a super cute Kawaii style girl using my Kawaii Essentials Procreate Brush Set and Drawing Kit, and that is available in my Etsy shop. This set is perfect for starting to draw in the Kawaii style, and the brushes are designed to make your artwork easily take on that style with how the line brushes have been designed, and there's also some stamps so you can add some cute little details. But we'll go through those steps together for this project, from sketching to adding those finishing touches to make your character come to life in that kawaii style. But don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a tutorial that I post in the future. And if you want to follow along with the same brushes that I'm using, check out the link to my Etsy shop in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm starting with a blank canvas that is 2048 pixels by 2048 pixels, and it is at 300 dpi. And we're going to start off by sketching out our image. So to draw in the kawaii style, the proportions of whatever you're drawing are usually a little bit more exaggerated. Like heads are kind of big, bodies are kind of small, eyes are kind of huge. So we're going to keep to that kawaii style ratio when it comes to the form of this character's head and body. And I'm going to sketch out some basic shapes to help us, to guide us in how we are going to shape out this character. And then, so we'll go ahead and go through sketch, and then we'll line it, and then we'll fill in the color and those super cute kawaii style colors. So I am going to be using my Kawaii Essentials brush set and my Kawaii color palette that is also available when you purchase the Kawaii Essentials brush set. But to start off, I'm just going to use black, and I'm going to use the Fluffy Liner Tapered, size down fairly small to, we'll say 5%. To sketch out my drawing. We're going to just draw out the basic shapes, and that's going to help us get the form of our girl and have like a really easy guide on how we're going to draw this kawaii style girl. And I'm going to draw a circle and 2 rectangles to start. Okay, so here is my circle and 2 rectangles, and this is of course her head and her body, and I'm going to just tilt it a little bit because it's not straight up and down. It's just a little tilted from my right-handedness, but this is the basic form of her body. I'm going to sketch out a few of the little details and then her body. And the type of girl that I'm drawing today is not only a kawaii style girl, I'm going to make her like a little outdoorsy summertime girl going hiking. When I think of summertime, I'm not thinking of hot girl summer, I'm thinking of hiking girl summer. So we're going to draw a kawaii style girl that is just kind of an outdoorsy, sporty kind of gal. And so she's going to have a hat, she's going to have a backpack, she's going to have her little hiking boots. Okay, so for her hat, I just drew a curve and 2 curves going up, and then an upside down U, and then I gave her a little strap for her hat. So we can even size this up a little bit, just to kind of play with those proportions a little bit more. That's just kind of how your drawing can go on these things. I'm just going to add another layer, and I am layering this sketch just to make my life a little bit easier, so I can resize some things if I want to. I can move things around a little bit. So now I've added a new layer. We're going to draw her hair in, and then we will do her facial features and then the rest of her body. So to get her hair in the right spot, first I'm going to draw her little ears. I'm going to sketch in her little ears, and they are pretty low. And again, that is just playing with those proportions when it comes to kawaii style. So I've got her ears in place. I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to flatten all this before I do the actual final lining. But I do want to add a few points where I want to have her hair lying or laying. So I'm just going to draw in like the side of her hair here. And then starting at this point over here, I'm just going to draw in her little hair tucked behind her ear. And then give her some little bangs. And it's connecting these 2 points here. And then I am going to give her a little swoop over here. And a little bit of hair that goes over her ear. Okay, so now her hair and her bangs are kind of been placed. I'm going to give her a little bit of a ponytail because she is an outdoorsy, sporty kind of gal, and that's how she's dealing with her hair today. Okay, so now her hair has been sketched out. Got the form of her face more. I am going to just go ahead and flatten those because they're pretty much well placed. And I'm going to sketch in where her eyes are going to go. And Kawaii Style eyes, there's a couple different versions of a Kawaii Style eye. I like to go for a very simple one. And so it is just a curve, and then a curve up, and then another curve up. And there is a nice little eye, and you can adjust that if you need to, which, you know, that's why we love Procreate. And that's why pencils have erasers, just so you can kind of get things in the right spot. And we can adjust that a little more. And to make life easier, I am just going to duplicate that layer that I put her eye into. That's why it's good to have a new layer for the eyes, so you can just duplicate it. And then with the snapping on and the guides, you can just place it opposite, right in line with that other eye. And so now we're going to place where her smile is going to go, and she will be smiling, and then a little nose. That's all you really need as far as detail for a Kawaii Style face, and I love that. Now we can move on to her body and her little backpack and her little hiking boots. But I'm going to flatten that and just add a new layer below it. Doesn't really matter where it goes. But before I start that, I want to add a little line down the middle. Just make sure that it's centered. And the guides will kind of let you know, just so that I can stay in one space. What I love about Procreate is that you can draw one side and then duplicate it and just move it over to the other side, and it reduces your drawing by basically half. So that, just like what I did with her face. So we're going to do that here. So I am just going to give her a little neck and her little shoulder. So curve down, and we're going to curve down for her arms. And I am just going to go ahead and sketch in her little sleeve. And she's going to be holding her little straps on her backpack. So we're going to curve up her arm and her elbow, and her little hand is going to be resting there because it's holding the little strap of her backpack. This part of the rectangle is guiding us where the bottom of her shorts is going to go. So she's wearing these little belled out shorts, and we're just going to stop right there and then draw in the rest of that strap from the backpack. We can do that. And then from her shorts, we can draw in her leg and her shoe. So there's not a whole lot of detail and form to a Kawaii Style drawing, or there doesn't have to be. So we're going to kind of lean into that simplicity. And so her leg is just going to be kind of a curved in V, or a curved in rectangle here, however you want to see it. And then her shoe her feet are going to be facing us, so we don't have to draw a foot too much. It's just going to be, this is the top of her shoe, that is the bottom of her shoe. So it's kind of like a little circle, funny shaped circle for the foot. So it just kind of tapers at the top, and it's flat on the bottom. And we're just going to place where her laces are going to go on the top of her foot, and then her sock. So now we've got her whole left side. So I am just going to duplicate that layer and then flip it over. And it didn't place like right exactly where I want, but we have that middle line that we made. And so we know where we wanted to place that. I kind of want to squeeze them in a little bit more. So I am going to do that. And where the shorts cross a little bit, I can select one of these and I can select both of them and there we go. So now it's kind of like a narrow proportion that I'm going for. And so I will add another layer just to add the rest of the details of her shorts, her shirt, and her backpack. Okay, so now we have our sketch of our little Kawaii Style hiker girl, and she's looking pretty happy, and I will go ahead and just flatten all of those layers. And before I move on to the lining, I just want to give her a little bit of a background. A simple, kind of outdoorsy scene, nothing too much. Okay, so now we have our sketch laid out of our Kawaii Style girl. So what we focused on was the exaggerated proportions of her larger head, her smaller and narrow body, and she's got a giant backpack. But you know, you need a lot of stuff when you're hiking and you're doing hiking girl summer. So now I am going to flatten all of that out. And what we're going to do next is do our lining of this image. And I'm going to use the fluffy liner at 20%. And I call it the fluffy liner just because it has a very raw edge. And the color that we are going to choose from our Kawaii color palette is this dark brown. That is my favorite way to draw in the Kawaii style, is to line things with a brown color, because it's a little bit more muted and it kind of lends to that kind of cutesy vibe. So we've added a new layer, and let's just go ahead and get started in the lining. So you can even kind of turn down the opacity so you can really see where you're placing. And while I am doing this lining, I am going to be making my curves, and I'm going to hold it down so that this edit arc shows up. And so I'm going to grab that and kind of adjust it to where I want. And then I will just continue on and trace all of my lines. And just using Procreate's feature of kind of smoothing everything out so it doesn't catch every single twitch in your hand like a sketching brush does, but everything is smooth. And I don't have to do anything in any particular order because I am just lining all of everything that I've already drawn. Now we have our little hiker girl, and she is all lined, and she's really come to life now with that lining and that precision and the smoothness of each of those curves. So now that my image is lined, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my sketch. Can start filling this in, and I'm going to add a layer at the very bottom. And so we're going to stay within our Kawaii color palette, and we're going to kind of go for greens and pinks and beiges. So I will just start from the top and go down. So I'm going to choose this green for her hat, and I'm just going to go through and I'm only going to pick a few colors for the image. I'm going to stay in a very small palette chosen out of this Kawaii color palette. And I will use the fluffy liner 40 just to kind of speed up the process of filling this in because it has more coverage on the canvas. So now our girl has been filled in, so I'm just going to add a few little shadows. I'm just going to finish her off with just a few more details. I'm going to add a new layer, and I want to give her some little rosy cheeks And I will go back to the Fluffy Liner 20 for that and kind of just place it right here. Maybe make it a little bit wider and fill that in. Duplicate that layer and flip it. Use my guide in a smart way. There we go. And place it opposite. I'm going to merge those two together, and I'm going to turn down the opacity on that. So now she's got little rosy cheeks from all the hard work she's doing, going out hiking, and now we're just going to finish her up with her background. So I'm going to go to the background color picker, and I want to choose this kind of beige color here, and then we'll fill in our little bushes and flowers with the same kind of color tone that we had already used. Okay, and now all she needs is a shadow, and I will add a new layer here. Grab my darkest brown in the color palette, create an ellipse, and these shadows are always so easy to do. Just a small ellipse, fill that in, and then turn down the opacity. Definitely blends in a little bit better, and I will kind of tilt it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now our image can be done. This is a really cute image, and I just want to add a little bit more kawaii style to it. So I'll have two versions of this image, depending on what I want to go with. So I have my background here, and I'm just going to bring it down so it's right above what I used to color that in. I'm just going to merge those together, and I'm going to hide them. And then I think I will go ahead and hide that shadow layer and then add a new layer above that. So now we've kind of got a blank canvas behind her, and what we want to do this time is add some just real kawaii details on it and go really cute, heavy on the cute. So what is typical for a kawaii style image is taking a white or a cream and kind of making a grid. So we're going to make kind of like a freeform grid with our Fluffy Liner 20. So now we have our grid, and you can make it bigger so that it covers the whole background, and then turn down the opacity quite a bit so it's just barely there. This is a great style to use when you want to share this on social media and kind of just give like a flat lay of cute kawaii stuff that you're into. So you got your hiker girl, and now we're going to give her her little accessories. So what every hiker girl would need, she would need her AirPods. So we'll just draw her some little AirPods. She needs a water bottle. Okay, and we're going to go to our stamp brushes, and we just want to give a couple little shine spots, or these pluses are perfect. So these kind of just go around, and I'm actually going to place them behind this stuff above that, and also turn down the opacity. They're kind of like little shine spots. So there you have how to draw a cute kawaii girl. She is in her hiking gear, and we got two different versions. We have our social media flat lay post, and then we have our normal background that we had made. So both are super cute versions of this, and you can use either of these styles for your own little image. Using these kawaii brushes really just makes it super simple to give it this effect. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, go ahead and subscribe. And I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!